Hello and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video I am going to be taking a look at the Cursed Scroll Volume 1. This is for ShadowDark. It's a ShadowDark zine that comes along with the Kickstarter, so you will get 3 zines with the Kickstarter. And really anticipating the release of the hard copies of ShadowDark. So I got complete set, the complete rules, plus these 3 zines and a whole bunch of other items in my backer. I got 2 hardcovers. One is the collector's edition, and one is the standard edition of the of the rule book. So really looking forward to getting this. Kelsey Dion has said that it is still on track for beginning shipping in late October, and so hopefully we will have these things in our hands by November, and then I will really start to get to work to reading through the entire thing, which I've done once already, but there's just a different way of reading, in my opinion, when you have the physical copy in your hands, and then certainly running it as well. So what I wanted to do, since it is only a matter of 4 to 6 weeks away, what I wanted to do is to start taking a in-depth look at these cursed scrolls. However, I am not going to spoil the adventures in them. I will just very quickly gloss over them and show you what is in each of these volumes over the next 3 weeks. And then that way, hopefully you'll have them in your hands by, by early November, let's say. So without further ado, let's take a look at Cursed Scroll number 1. So here we have it. So right on the front cover, it tells you what it's going to include. So it's going to have spells, monsters, and adventure. The new classes are witches, warlocks, and cursed knights. Now, what I like about this is that, and I will orient this so you can see it upright. It comes with a hex map. And you can see there's some really nice details in here. So there's quite a lot of hexes, and then some set pieces. So when if you're doing a hex crawl, and the characters actually move about, and they enter any of these designated spots, then you're going to read what they actually discover in there, and then the rest can still be populated with random encounters or whatever. You can decide to move these or add additional points of interest, or remove points of interest that you're not really looking to have the player characters delve into that. So really nice touch here. It has a miniature hex crawl featuring the Gloaming. So that's this entire region here is called the Gloaming. And there are random encounters for it, as well as rumors that can be picked up along the way as the player characters are traveling. I will reorient this again. So here we have everything in this zine is written by Kelsey Dion. She gives a lot of credit to all of the various artists that were utilized for putting this together, including the font, which is a really nice touch. You usually don't see a font being credited to anyone, and it's a really interesting font, and really enjoy it. Then the legal information attribution statement. So no OGL here. It is just using the SRD 5.1 Wizards of the Coast Creative Commons. Contents. So the Gloaming Hex Map, which I've already showed you. What I really like about this is that you can click on these here, and it will jump you right to that section. So let's take a look at the introduction. So welcome to the first issue of the Cursed Scroll. Everything in the zine is ready to use with the free public ShadowDark RPG rules. You can check out the fully playable Quick Start PDF at the Arcane Library slash pages slash ShadowDark. This issue's theme is Diaboliary, which is diabolical, basically in either Latin or Italian or possibly French, probably French. And the pages inside are brimming with player and game master material about demons, deviltry, curses, the occult, and witchcraft. You can roll up a brand new witch or warlock character, explore the dark forests and bogs of the gloaming, join the tormented knights of Saint Idris, or test your mettle in the hideous halls of Mugdol Blub. The plan for future Cursed Scrolls is continue with a theme for each, so you can plug the whole zine right into your game world and instantly expand its boundaries. So, intrepid reader, you've dared to open this musty scroll and glance through its contents. Will you risk discovering what horrible hexes or magical boons await you after reading through the final word on this last page? Fair warning, you'll probably be cursed, but that's never stopped any adventurer worth their gold from reading a magical scroll anyway. As the saying goes, roll high and don't die. Okay. Incredible art. And so that's something that you're going to see throughout all of the ShadowDark materials. I mean, just absolute phenomenal art. And I reject anyone that says that because it's black and white art, it is not top notch. That's just silly talk, and we don't need color in our art. So the Knight of Saint Idris class. So this is a cursed knight who walk the path of Saint Idris, the unholy and the possessed. They embrace the darkness in order to fight it, cleansing evil with a flurry of steel and forbidden sorcery. Their weapons, they can use all melee weapons plus crossbow. Armor, they can use all armor and shields. They have D6 hit points per level. Their languages, they know diabolic. Demonic possession 3 times a day. They gain a +1 bonus to their damage rolls that last for 3 rounds. In addition, half of their level to the damage bonus, rounded down. So they deal potentially quite a bit of damage. Spell casting, you gain cast witch spells. You can cast witch spells that you know. Each time you gain a level, you choose new witch spells to earn according to the witch spells known table. Your character, you use your character charisma stat to cast witch spells. I'm sorry. The DC is 10 plus the spell's tier. If you fail a spell casting check, you can't cast that spell again until you complete a rest. If you roll a natural 1 on the spell casting check, you must also roll on the corresponding diabolical mishap table, see page 22, for the tiers, for the spells tier. So you'll start with 1, potentially 2 of these boons. All right, to start off with, so on a 2d6 roll, on a 2 you get demonic possession, bonus increases by +1. On a 3 to 6 you get a +1 to melee or ranged attacks. On a 7 to 9 you get a +2 to strength, dexterity, or constitution stat. On a 10 or an 11 you get a +2 to charisma stat or a +1 to witch casting spell checks. On a 12, you choose 1 option or 2 points to distribute to your stats. The witch spells, you do not gain witch spells until level 3. All right, so it does take a Knight of Saint Idris level 3 before they start getting spell casting ability. And there is an image of one. The Warlock class, I'm not going to go through all of the details here. They're also a D6. They know either Celestial, Diabolical, Draconic, Primordial, or Sylvan. They have a patron. The patron is going to grant them a supernatural gift. If your patron is displeased with you, it can withhold its gifts. You lose any talents granted by your patron boons during this time. The patron boon, at first level you gain a random patron boon talent based on your chosen patron. Whenever you gain a new talent roll, you may choose to roll on your patron boon table rather than the Warlock talents table. Here are your Warlock talents. So you can, you'll start with one of these plus one of your patron boons, and then every level beyond that, you will roll on either table that you choose. The Witch class, D4 per level for hit points. They know Diabolic, Primordial, and Sylvan. All right, so they know all 3 languages. They will have a familiar, a small animal such as a raven, rat, or frog who serve you loyally. It can speak common. Your familiar can be the source of spells you cast. Treat it as though it were you for determining spell ranges. If your familiar dies, you can restore its life by permanently sacrificing 1 to 4 hit points. All right, so that's pretty severe, actually. Spellcasting, you can cast which spells you know. You know 3 spells, tier 1 spells of your choice from the witch spell list. Each time you gain a level, you choose new witch spells to learn according to the witch spells known table. You use your charisma stat to cast witch spells. The DC is 10 plus the spell's tier. If you fail, check. You can't cast a spell until the next complete rest. On a natural 1, you roll on the mishap table. So here you have their spell selection. So at level 1, they get 3, and so on and so forth, all the way up to level 5 spells at level 10. Or I should say spell tier 5 at level 10. Here are your witches' talents. Here are the titles for each of the new classes based on their alignment. So the alignment in ShadowDark is just lawful, chaotic, or neutral. And there you have all 3. Here are the patrons. And so it tells you patrons are eldritch beings of immense power who gift magical ability and boons to mortals who petition their favor. Patrons are not seeking worship from petitioners. Instead, they want something in exchange for the power they grant. The Willow Man might demand a drink of a petitioner's nightmares on the dark of the moon. I struggle with this. Mugdul Blub might require the boiling of tooth and bone. What these eldritch demands truly means reveals itself over time. And so you have a number of them, and here are their boons, right? So specific boons for each type of patron, and it doesn't seem like any of the patrons are actually very. So the Fickle Queen of Fae, we'll take a look at Titiana, who views all existence as whimsical dream with hidden meaning and poignant drama. She seeks mischief, beauty, and artistry. Most of these other ones are fairly nasty or neutral. So we'll take a look at Titiana, and we will take a look at Mugdolblub. So Mugdolblub will give you a boon on a roll of a 2 of once per day turn into a crawling puddle of slime for 3 rounds. I know the OGGM will love that, to become a puddling, a puddle of crawling slime. 3 to 7 gives you a maximum 2 hit point die roll. 8 to 9 is a +2 to dexterity or constitution stat. A 10 to an 11 become immune to acid, cold, poison. That's fairly powerful. And number 12, choose one option or 2 points to distribute to your stats. Titiana's right below. Perfect. So she is going to give you once per day, hypnotize a level 5 or less creature for 3 rounds. Learn to wield a longbow or gain +1 to ranged attacks, +2 to dexterity or charisma stat. Hostile spells that target you are always hard to cast. And choose one option or 2 points to distribute the stats. All right, so you have 2 very different entities that you can call your patrons. Remember, you're not worshippers of them. They are just your patrons. Here are your diabolical backgrounds. And let's see, what's a wolf child? Long ago, you walked into 2 town wearing pelts. Interesting. So marooned. They left you behind, but you refused to die. So there's a number of backgrounds that you might have. They don't give very many mechanical advantages, if any. They just give a little bit of flavor to your character. Magic. So here are the mishap tables. And I've gone over these when I covered the core rulebook as well. So rolling low, almost always you roll twice on it, and rolling very high is not very good, right? So rolling a natural 12, you have disadvantage on casting spells of the same tier or lower for the next 10 rounds. So that's a long time that you're going to be disadvantaged at rolling spells, rolling for your spell use. And then for tiers 4 through 5 spells, they obviously become just much worse, right? So Nemesis, somewhere a child is born who will grow up to become a mighty sworn enemy to you. And let's see, Maelstrom, roll twice, yeah. So let's see, on average. So on average, you're going to roll about a 7. Cold Iron, spikes of cold iron lance from the eternal realm, piercing you. You take 2d6 damage and are paralyzed for 2 rounds. All right, so that's pretty darn severe, especially for a magic user who might have. Now this is rolling a tier 4 spell. So let's see, what is the lowest hit points that you could possibly have at that tier for a level 4? You would be 7th level. So you might have a maximum of 28 hit points at that point, and here you're rolling 2d6. So it's a pretty bad mishap for you. Okay, here are the spell lists. So these are all the witch spells, and you have Cauldron, Witchlight, Willowman, Shadow Dancing as tier 1. Tier 2, you have Alter Self, Cat's Eye, Frog Rain, I guess, like raining frogs you can call, Spider Silk, and Toadstool. Let's look at the most powerful ones. An Anathema, Dreamwalk, Enfeeble, Finger of Death, Mother of Night, Scrying, Shape Changing, and Soul Jar. So those are the most powerful of the spells. And then they go into the spell descriptions, which I won't spend very much time. The one thing that I'm not crazy about in layout is that the spells are listed alphabetical order and not by tier, and I prefer that they would be listed by tier and alphabetically, but certainly by tier first, so you don't have this mix of everywhere. I think it's much easier to just look at the tiers, as they are, and then alphabetically listed, so it's much faster to reference a spell. I know this is like, oh, well, if you know what your spell starts, the name of your spell, you can jump right to it on the alphabetical listing. I just think I just have the preference for it to be based on spell level or tier. Now, I'm going to skip over here. So this is the key for the hex key. So the gloaming hex key, and these are your set pieces, set encounters. And like I said, this is going to be spoiler free, so I'm not going to spend very much time on it. But you can see there's a lot of work done there. You have your monsters, and your monsters are listed, again, alphabetically from top to bottom on both sides. And, most of these are a lunging halfling with sharp teeth wearing a cloak of coyote pelts is a howler. That's very interesting. Yeah, Kelsey Dion has an incredible imagination for these things, and really taking like the unexpected and twisting it on you, and it's really cool stuff. Has a real edge to it. I don't want to reveal any details there. So the Hideous Halls of Mugdol Blub, I'm getting better with it, is a first level adventure for ShadowDark RPG. And you can see that this is going to be a 19-page adventure, or roughly 19 pages. Gives you the overview, the factions that are involved. That's really, important. You have the rumors, Bittermold Keep, and then areas 1 through 33, and you can see that there are, depending on the level of the dungeon, you're going to have different random encounters. And like I said, I'm not going to spoil any of this for you, but you can see the layout is super simple. Just gives you a room number and then what is to be found there. We have some nice images here. I don't know what this is of because I'm not going to spoil it, but scrolling through, you can see there's quite a lot. And then how to join the dark. All right, so this is called the Shadow Darklings, I guess, and so you can join a variety of ways to get additional information about right from the Arcane library, whether it's their Discord server or you joining some of these other things as well and following and such. And here are the ruins of the Bittermold. What I like about this is that that she tells you exactly what's going to be found in each room as kind of like an overview. So that's really nice. That's a nice touch, and even tells you like the details for traps and how to what you need to roll. And then here's a random treasure table, and nothing super valuable, just high interest stuff, unique items, and and they just become points that you can actually grow adventures out of these things as well, right? So very interesting stuff for a zine. So you have a 68-page zine here, and I'm going to switch views, sorry. A 68-page zine. I mean, that's a lot of content packed in a very small package. It is a nice mix of, a hex crawl, a mini adventure, or actually really a full-length adventure, and then some new character classes, some new spells, some new monsters, and everything. So the full gambit of what you would look for in a zine, just in a very good art and really well put together and organized and such. So cannot wait to get this in my hands, in hopefully about 6 to 8 weeks or so, and looking forward to taking a look at the Curse Scroll number 2. Now, what I'm going to do as I go through these, I'm going to handle them each about the same way, unless anybody has any specific suggestions, especially if Arcane Library jumps in, just like she had done in a previous video that I did on, on ShadowDark, and I was talking about the character creation that is, online, and you can, certainly utilize that for creating characters or for creating NPCs really fast. And yeah, Kelsey, I'm assuming she actually jumped in on the channel and, cleared up a misconception that one of the posters had, and then also said that she enjoys my coverage of ShadowDark, which was a real big boost for myself. I know that I'm doing a great job when the creator comes in and says that I'm giving a fair and a fair coverage and in-depth coverage of their work. So that's what I really hope for. And it's it's what my channel is about as far as a review channel is concerned. I don't get any of these, I don't get anything for free. I don't take payment for anything. I just, like to put out there the game systems that I find to be really impressive, the game systems that I back with my own money. And creators are always welcome to come on the channel and talk directly about their product that they have out there. And I mean, I would be stunned and deeply honored to have Kelsey come on the channel and talk about ShadowDark, especially when it launches and everything. Everyone gets their Kickstarters in their hands and everything. She's always welcome to come on and talk about the game and talk about what the future of this game is going to be, because I really do expect that the future of ShadowDark is going to be a very, very bright future, kind of ironically, a very bright future for ShadowDark, especially if she continues with the level of energy and the amount of content that is coming out for it. I anticipate that future zines will continue that content going, and we'll see what the next big project for Arcane Library is, dealing with ShadowDark. I absolutely expect to see this running at conventions, post everyone getting their physical copies. I am certainly intending to run this at Rising Phoenix in April, and hopefully I see a lot of other tables and other sessions running this game there as well. So thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it. Share it. Remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I get a lot of traffic of new people coming into the channel, which is awesome. It's still around like a 45-55 or 40-60 split of 40% return and subscribers, 60% passers through, and I'd like to kind of flip those numbers and have more subscribers than just passers-by. So the way that happens is that when you're passing through, if you like what you see, please consider subscribing. Hit the alert button so you'll know when my Curse Scroll number 2 or Volume 2 preview is going to come out. Probably within the next 5 to 7 days. I'll do these, kind of stagger them out over 3 weeks. So thanks for joining. I look forward to seeing you on a gaming screen sometime soon, or at a table at a convention, hopefully even sooner than that. And you all have a great day. Enjoy your upcoming week. Stay safe. Keep on rolling those dice. Keep on having fun at your table. Take care.